What does all this exposure mean? Adults with the emotional regulation of children, in a sense, regressing. You cannot develop. Something is changing in the way we think, in the way we feel, and in the way we relate to each other. Attention spans are shrinking, empathy is eroding, and emotional reactivity is on the rise. But this isn't just culture. There's something deeper at play, something more structural, something more infringing on our very essence as human beings. Psychology and neuroscience may hold the answer, and it has to do with something that makes us distinctly human: the prefrontal cortex. What happens when this part of the brain, it fails to fully develop? What happens when it doesn't develop across generations, across multiple generations even? Are we, in a sense, regressing? The prefrontal cortex is often called the executive center. It's often referred to as the CEO of the company. It governs self-control, empathy, long-term planning, and even emotional regulation. According to developmental neuroscientists, this region of the brain, it doesn't fully develop until the mid-20s. And its development, it's deeply shaped by experience and by environment. When it is underdeveloped, impulsivity, it increases. Emotional regulation, it suffers, and we become short-term thinkers in a long-term world. Children nowadays, they spend more than 5 hours per day with screen exposure. And we have to ask ourselves, what does all this exposure mean? What is the cost of this grand digitalization? A major study by Lee et al., published in JAMA Pediatrics, found a strong correlation between screen time and poorer executive functions in preschoolers. These kids, they scored lower on working memory, on emotional control, and on planning capabilities. This is because that screens, they offer a high stimulus, but very low on developmental input. And these kids, they're missing out on real life face-to-face interactions. The prefrontal cortex, it doesn't grow through swiping. It grows through waiting, through listening, through being patient, and through human interaction. But it gets even worse than that, because the prefrontal cortex, it doesn't just underdevelop because of overexposure to screen time. It actually overactivates the amygdala. The amygdala is in charge of processing fear and threat responses. When overstimulated with fast, emotionally charged media, the amygdala, you can think of doom scrolling, think of competitive gaming, but the amygdala, it becomes hyperactive. According to Daniel Goleman, this creates a state that he terms the amygdala hijack. And this basically creates a state where your brain, your state of being, is in constant fight or flight mode. It basically sidelines rational thought. In his book, Emotional Intelligence, Why It Matters More Than IQ, amygdala hijacking, it happens when something is perceived as a threat or something is out of proportion with the sensory stimulus. Without a strong prefrontal cortex to regulate it, the amygdala, it takes over, and fear and anxiety and emotional dysregulation, it skyrockets. Joint attention, i.e. that you share a focus on solving a task or you're having a focus on some activity with someone else, it's one of the most basic forms of social engagement, social learnings. And without it, it can actually alter what we can term a theory of mind. A theory of mind is actually a concept that has been explored since the French philosopher René Descartes, but in this context, in this developmental context that we're talking about it, we can talk specifically about mentalization. Mentalization is something that is actually used within psychology and pedagogy, and it is actually a concept that just basically describes your ability to put yourself in another person's place. Psychologist Peter Fonagy, he actually links the joint attention with the development of the ability to mentalize, or the mentalization ability. But you cannot develop mentalization, i.e. you are having the ability to put yourself in another person's place or in a world. You cannot develop this through passive scrolling. Children who are raised on screens, they miss out on facial recognition, on mirroring neurons. They are missing out on the ability to have joint attention. This comes with the price of them lacking the ability to pick up on subtle emotional cues and to learn the ability to take turn in a specific activity. This leaves us not just with fewer social skills or social abilities, but actually with a lower social instinct. Our brains, they're built for movement, physical movement. It increases the blood flow to the frontal lobes and it enhances connectivity. A 2019 study published in Pediatrics, it shows that physical activity, it enhances the white matter in the frontal lobes, it enhances your focus, and it enhances your self-regulation and control. What an absolute win! But the modern child is more sated than ever, sitting still in front of screens instead of being out running, instead of being out climbing trees, instead of playing. And as the body stagnates, so too does the mind. If you zoom out, the symptoms, they start to look systemic. They start to look like it's structural. The rise of ADHD, the rise of anxiety, the rise of low frustration tolerance and emotional volatility, it isn't just a coincidence. It's the cumulative effect of underdeveloped prefrontal cortices across millions of individuals. We are creating a world filled with adults with the emotional regulation of children. So, what can we do? Or at least, what can we do about protecting the next generation? We have a growing chasm between what our brains actually need to thrive and the environment that we have created. And the good news? The brain is plastic. We can change. The solution, it could look something like this. No screen time, or at least reduce screen time to 1 hour a day for children up to 5 years old. And adults, they should also set limits. Engage in more real-world interactions. Listen, start speaking, start connecting, start create authenticity with the people around you. Make eye contact. Play games with the people around you. The social friction, it actually creates the cognitive resilience you need. Physical activity, it actually amplifies the blood flow and the white matter in the brain, especially in the hippocampus and the prefrontal cortex. Even 20 minutes a day, a walk for 20 minutes, that would be enough to regenerate the neurons. Practice attention. Listen, meditate, journal, even reading a book. It helps you rebuild the focus you need. And lastly, protect childhood. Unstructured play, it's not just a luxury, it's actually a necessity for developing a healthy and fully capable brain. The prefrontal cortex is what provides us with empathy, with foresight, and with conscience. So let's protect it. Now, have you noticed these shifts in your own life, or maybe in the people around you, the children around you? Have you seen that this shift has occurred over the last decade or two? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this video helpful, you can click on one of the other videos right here. And please like and subscribe. Share it, make a comment. Yeah, that's it. I'll see you in the next one.